Fire it off.
Welcome to Wholehearted by Lovestrong. We're out here in the woods. It's been a beautiful evening. We actually got to camp out here last night because we've been working on a project for Lovestrong. So, Ty, what have we been working on?
So we decided to hike up in the mountains and want to film a course for church leaders to help them with helping people in their congregations dealing with sexual addiction and affairs and things like that. And we figured what better place than in nature to come and get the inspiration. So you guys can see the beauty behind us. This is where we shot it at last night, but it was quite a ride.
It was. I was really impressed with what we came up with. You did a phenomenal job of speaking with energy and passion about the thing. You're already an expert. That's not a thing that's ever been in question. So the content is very rich and full. And I think it's really going to be a major benefit to the people that are receiving it. So hopefully that'll get out there, get in the right hands, and maybe help some people with overcoming their problems.
I hope so. You know, that's what we want. We want to make life better for people.
Yeah.
And live a wholehearted life, right? So
yeah, that's right.
that's what we want to do. But it was an interesting way that we got to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what we want to maybe just talk about. I know we're short on video time because we only have like 12 minutes, but let's get into it. What our discussion was a little bit about just the process we've been in over the last 24 hours.
Right. So the thing that I was thinking of is that we packed up our stuff, threw it in hiking bags, and headed up a trail. Probably not that far. I mean,
it was steep.
Steep.
Really steep.
Steep, incredibly rocky, pretty slippery in some parts, and we made it up though. But along the way, I know I personally was carrying way too much stuff, things that I don't need, and I felt it about halfway through when the sun's coming down and hitting us on the back. Yeah, just sweating profusely, and thinking about all the stuff that I've got in there. Like, why did I bring that? But now, looking back at yesterday, it was kind of an interesting process. The pain of it, I felt it from my shoulders, the weight on my shoulders, the weight on my hips, my ankles. I know you got things with your hips as well, but my ankles were feeling that pressure, and it was uncomfortable.
Oh, to say the least. It was hot. We were carrying way more than we should have. We're still getting used to carrying all this other equipment and stuff too. And it was there was a part of me that was like, why did I come here? Like, why did we come here? Like, I'm not having fun right now.
Yeah.
You know? So it was definitely hard. And then we found our spot, and then we couldn't really find a spot, so we had to hike all over the place, and that was just the beginning. Right? You know?
But then we got set up, and it worked out nicely. Beautiful little spot we came down, and you'll be able to see in the ecclesiastical leader course that we just produced yesterday. There's a beautiful area over here with some rock face exposed, and you can see through into this canyon and open sky, and that ended up being really nice to have.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
I mean, this was worth it. You know, just this morning right now with this view that you guys get to see behind us.
Yeah.
To wake up to this was pretty amazing. But we didn't wake up to this without going through the other part, which was just as taxing last night.
So I asked Ty, hey, what do you think the weather report says about rain? Do you think we're going to get any rain tonight? And Ty's got one of those four-season tents where the base is just a dome of mesh. It's nothing else. There is no protection. If there is a drop of water, you're going to feel that coming down. So I don't know what time it was, but it was middle of the night.
It was 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
3 in the morning, and I said, hey Ty, I think it's starting to rain. And I mean, he woke up in an instant. We both hopped out of the tent, and I was telling him earlier just how stupid I felt, just in that delusional state with the flashlight trying to shine on like what I thought was important to shine on.
How to get the tarp.
Yeah, probably looked like I was just waving it around, but we got the tarp on, and then we were able to get back in bed. But at that point, things were already a little bit damp, and then this morning.
Oh man, this morning we were both laying in like a big pool of water because we didn't set the tarp up right, so the water all dripped in underneath us, and we slept on water all night. So we woke up pretty damp and dirty, like it's mud everywhere.
Our
And
stuff
obviously,
is soaked.
I think our clothes probably show it too right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking, man, like this hasn't been the easiest trip.
Right.
It's actually been pretty painful in a lot of ways, kind of taxing and challenging, and yet I've really loved it.
Right. Yeah.
And then to wake up and roll out of that tent, and when we stepped out and looked right back here and saw this, I just thought, what a metaphor for life. You know, that we always kind of have to go through that deepest, darkest place before the light comes. And it's usually about that time when we feel like we can't tolerate the pain anymore. We feel like we're going to lose it, that we have our deepest moments of spirituality, of gratitude, of insight, of growth and learning, and ultimately of beauty. And that's kind of what I feel like I've experienced this morning. I woke up and I was all really angry and pissed at the rain. And then I woke up at about 5 in the morning, and we were under siege from like 3 in the morning till just now, like 9 o'clock. And I was like, man, like this is never going to let up. And then I woke up around 5 in the morning and I just heard the rain on the tent after we were safe and dry. And I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think sometimes that's kind of how the concept of surrender to the pain and letting God be in charge of our lives works, is that we can be in the midst of a storm and somehow emotionally and spiritually there's a tarp that can be laid over us that then allows the rain to almost be beautiful in its own weird way, even though we wouldn't want to go out in it again.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of beautiful in its own weird way, when I woke up this morning, I was feeling that pepper sauce from the sandwiches last night and all the cherries we were eating. I was feeling a little bit of pressure. So I woke up damp and dirty. As just like, man, I got to get out there and drop this thing off. So grab the shovel and head up. I'm slipping in thorns and because everything is soaking wet. There's no sure foothold. So, and I took your suggestion of finding a log and, you know, trying to dig a hole on the other side and see if you could prop yourself over it. And it I see the genius of it. It didn't work out as well for me in this moment, but man, afterwards and having those wet ones, the wiping clean.
What an amenity.
Seriously,
Yeah.
the beauty,
you
know, of it all. I felt like a fresh new man afterwards.
Yeah.
And man, am I grateful for moments like that as well.
Yeah, something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But it's being able to kind of go through the challenge. You don't really realize how grateful you are for a parallel log until you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, that's a great seat. I never thought of that before. And look, there's even handles where the branches broke off. Like, this is awesome. What a blessing.
I like that you called it a parallel log. That kind of seems like a log parallel.
Pun not intended. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anything else that's on your mind, Cherries? I know we're probably short on time.
Yeah, we might have been cut off by now. It's stinking record length. No, that's all I got.
Okay, yeah, well, I think just learning to kind of see pain for what it is and being able to embrace it, if we can figure out how to see the blessings that come and know that things like that view will come. So
Definitely worth it.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, see you next week.